All right, everyone, we are back with the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am Joel, your chief host of the show, and joining me, as always, is none other than my co-host Noble.
I got my magic 8 ball again. Let's give it a go. Is the podcast going to be good today? Without a doubt.
Well, look at that! It's almost at this point you might as well sell that off and upgrade to a crystal ball. But then again, you'd have to dress up like one of those gay gypsies.
Not specifically. I just wore regular clothes when I was using a crystal ball last time.
Nah,
Oops.
dude, that's a friggin' mood kill. Come
Well, I got
on.
tarot cards.
Okay, hey, that's an acceptable substitute. There you go. Ah, well, it's what it is, though. Anywho, next on the show we have Avira.
Hello! Happy Friday, guys. And happy belated St. Patrick's Day for those who don't celebrate it. And happy first day of spring, officially. Even though today was like windy and in the 40s and it was terrible and freezing and I'm just I'm just praying that it gets warmer. But otherwise, yeah. Uh, Hope everyone's having a super groovy night. So far I am. So we'll see.
Goodness, yeah. Reminds me that we did have a big busy week with events like that. Yes, I know. I was still tangentially aware of St. Patrick's Day happening. Didn't drink a beer though.
Yeah, that's not like a thing down in the land down under, right? Now that's more of like an
No,
American.
we do recognize it because of we have Irish influence and all that.
Nice.
Just yeah, just didn't get my beer, except for that one time I drank a green colored beer from my university just for the for the sake of it. Wasn't bad.
Oh,
I don't know. They probably must have put clovers in there or something.
very festive.
Very on point. And joining us today is an old friend you probably have seen around, but not for quite some time. It's called Kitty.
Oh, hello there. How are you guys doing? What's up? You know,
Oh, fantastic. So nice to have you back. Ah.
yep. I like visiting. Like I'm not really a raider or anything, but it's nice to just chat with people about cool stuff because it's fun and it's great, and you can't just be in a cube forever.
Without having someone turning around and calling you problematic because you're not following exactly what they want.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I'm a pretty simple cat. I want the simple things in life. You got your catnip. Actually, not a lot of people know, but I've actually smoked catnip before. It's true. It does. It's just as true. It's an exclusive. It does give you a little bit of a high, but it kind of hurts the throat a bit. So I don't recommend it for sure.
Okay.
No.
Damn.
The
Okay. I
caveat
did not
is
know that about
you
you.
don't
Don't
recommend
worry.
this for non-cats.
Well, yeah, I mean, I mean, it made the throat burn a little bit. It just it and the high was way too moderate. It just was not really worth the experience. But be safe. Don't do anything illegal.
Fun
For you, it's
time.
different because you're a girl, okay? But when I was 16, I smoked catnip once, just to try it. Okay, I heard about it. My cats got high from it. Didn't work out so well for me, so I don't know. It is what it is.
Well, yeah, I mean, you turned into a dog. That's like the worst worst possible side effect, right?
What
Because
the fuck
it's
side
like
effect? What are you talking about? You feline. Oh goodness, I can't believe this.
that'd be a horrible. I mean, if I smoked catnip and then turned to a dog, I'd be like, that'd be the end of it. I just, I'd never come out of that.
Ugh, that'd be a trip, dude.
Horrible.
All right. So to start this week's items off, we've been you've heard about the news, right? Like I think that we've how we've lost a legend.
Legend, yes.
Mm.
Yes. And well, I know you know this because he's been he's just basically been responsible for a lot of great things. Though, I'm not kidding. It's Chuck Norris.
Yes. This morning I saw the news. Yeah. Chuck Norris, the legend himself at 86 years old. I mean, God bless him.
And he aged pretty good. Like if you look at his body, he doesn't look he didn't look frail. He looked pretty fit. Like he never really left the gym. So that good for him. It should be something that all older people do. Is like, because the thing is, if you don't use your muscles, you really lose them. You become frail. But him and like the Van Dyke dude, they look amazing for their age, and I hope that I'll look like that at that age.
Make sure you
That's
do
a very good
stretches each
point.
day.
Yeah, like if you don't use it, you lose it. But he also was very adamant about being active. He was a black belt, and he was very active. Obviously, I mean, he's Chuck Norris. Like, come on, could do anything. But it was something that he definitely took seriously, like for his health, and he inspired a lot of people too, which is really, really nice.
I'm glad, like, just because he was a Trump supporter and Republican and everything, that people aren't giving him the Charlie Kirk treatment as they would. But no, I'm really glad that they haven't gone to that route. Like Chuck Norris is a beloved dude, and he deserves all of the all the praise.
That's it. He's like too beloved. You can't like make fun of Chuck Norris. Like, come on, he's like the GOAT. Like, literally, there's memes about him being that. So, yeah, sure, he got all political and stuff, but that was mostly like in those later years when he's like, "Oh yeah, the left abandoned me, and I believe the same thing as Democrats did 20 years ago. They just went crazy." So yeah, I get that.
I mean, I think
But
everyone is born like a liberal, and then once you get older, you can't help it. You just gotta once you get a job, it's
once
like,
you grow
oh,
up and
wait a
realize
minute, you're
I
taxing
mean,
me? How dare you? That's my money.
yeah, well, once you see the world for a little bit, but I mean, Chuck Norris, man, he was in the army. I think the army, right, or the Air Force. Which one was it? I think he was in one of those. I'm not sure, but he got into like film and television like in his later years, like in his late 30s, 40s, and then since then he's been just kicking ass since then. I mean,
speaking of,
Texas
yeah, it's
Rangers,
crazy. Like he guys just up there kicking ass. It's crazy. He got live comments too.
Mhm.
Old friends are here as well. Chuck did not die. He's just waiting quietly. Yeah.
Now, I
Yeah.
actually I never saw his show, but I watched the Conan O'Brien show, and he always had the segment where he would take a section from Walker, Texas Ranger out of context, so it made it just look
Mhm.
completely ridiculous and over the top, and it makes it that much better, I think, to see it out of context than in context for sure.
Really, that's awesome. Yeah, kind of
Yeah.
like how kids nowadays like see the memes of Chuck Norris. Like, they're like, we don't even know who this guy is, but these are just great. It's kind of like the Shaggy with his using 1% of the power. Kind of similar to Chuck Norris in a way.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, no, but Chuck, man, he's a meme in a great way. It's nuts.
And
And
with
on that note,
television, sorry.
yeah. And on that note, there's another
Television.
live comment. Sorry, you go ahead.
Sorry, television. There was a couple of shows I enjoyed. I didn't get to see Two Guys, a Girl, in a Pizza Place, but Young Sheldon and also The Big Bang Theory.
Right.
If you ever watch those shows, you'd see his vanity cards at the end, and they're sometimes a real hoot.
Right, because
Yeah, right.
he made he made appearances. So like you can tell that his influence or whatever was just it was profound.
Yeah, he's made a lot of appearances and like cameos in cartoons, movies, everything. Of course, given the infamy of the internet as well. Even like after his career from like the 70s and 80s and stuff. Yeah, it kind of just skyrocketed from there. So you said we have a live comment.
All right, we do. I was about to say, he was up against something. Something serious must be going on in heaven if God needs him up there.
That's right. Exactly.
Oh yeah. That's it. Like they're fighting the war against demons, the angels they are, and then God brought back Chuck Norris to literally kick some demon ass.
Give it a minute. Going in with an M80 or something. Wait.
Oh no, I don't think he'd need
What
that
am I
to kick
thinking
some
of?
demon ass.
That's his fist.
It's Chuck Norris. But yeah,
Man. So to be honest, guys, like he is kind of before my time. I'm a millennial. Sure, I saw all the memes and stuff, but I never actually watched like all the movies and shows he was in. Yeah, some of the like more famous movies, but I didn't like grow up with him. Like I wasn't like an '80s kid or anything like that. But he definitely had a major like cultural impact on the world. So it's weird. I haven't really heard like any news about him. I didn't know he was that old either. 86. I mean, my goodness.
I mean, maybe it's good you didn't hear any news about him because the new. I mean, what is the news filled of right now? It's like, oh man, you say one thing out of context 20 years ago, and boom, your life's over. Like people are losing everything. But yeah, maybe it's best that he's nice, and we only know of peaceful, lovely, wonderful things about him. But I'm sure when you're retired at that age, I imagine he's doing all the things that we wish we were doing at that age. Maybe I don't know, horseback riding. Might be a bit old for that.
Yeah, I know.
Possible.
All right.
Right. And that's just the thing too. Just one more meme, of course. Like before he hits the road, you don't need to know Chuck Norris. He knows you.
That's so true. Yes. Amen.
Cue the biographical film. That's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
I prefer just a standard documentary, to be honest.
You could have both. Elvis had both, so that's good idea.
Cool.
Yeah, give it a couple of years, and then they'll make a memorial film about Chuck Norris's life and rise to fame and all that, same way they did with Elvis. Righto. So let's hit the road, and I guess way to end the chapter. So now let's get on to the main meat and bones of the show. Got a big article this time, and we are diving into back in the furry world that we seem to be stuck in.
Ew, gross.
Yahoo!
Ugh.
No, it's too sticky.
Furries are weird.
You're making it sound weird. Stop it.
Oh.
Oh well. Anywho, so he comes in an article from Reality's Last Stand. I am a black stag. I'm a furry. My community has a violence problem. And
so remember the title of this. So this person who's writing this, they think that our fandom is they have a problem with violence and or divisiveness. So let's see what they get into.
Yeah, it's kind of strange that he's basically writing this for a blog that basically chronicles all the truth in this world, and I've read a couple of the articles there, like they're against like the transing of children, woke stuff, and what have you, and it's just crazy how he starts it off with "I'm a furry" as the opening paragraph.
Right.
Now, is this
So,
reference to the person who wrote this, or
Yes.
Okay,
The person who's writing this. And it's just a
and for
crazy thing,
context,
like,
oh yeah,
how,
sorry.
for 20 years or so, like, how a community with fursuits, art, and all of that have become, a crazy madhouse for killers and what have you, because in the last couple of months and all of that, we've been having some furry killers who've killed some prolific figures in the United States, or even made attempts on their lives.
my argument to that could be they may be furry adjacent, not actually a furry.
No. He gets into this specifically and says why people are predispositioned to violence based on how political pervasiveness has basically infiltrated our community. So much of like the first part of the article is that whole shock value thing of what happened and how over the years what happened to our community. Now these are things that we've been talking about on this channel for, I don't know, the better part of the last half of the decade. So he basically just tells the individual, whoever's reading this, oh, if you don't know what furries are, this is what we do. But he does get into how, well, let's see, if you scroll down here, what I want to explain, speaking as someone who has lived inside the fandom for more than 20 years, is the environment those individuals emerged from, social dynamics, sense of identity, and ideological pressures that have slowly transformed parts of what was once a harmless, if eccentric, and creative community into something dangerous. And that's when he's talking about all the radicals and haters and bullies in the fandom that have delved into radical alt-leftist politicalism. So that's what he's basically talking about here.
Yeah, and that something wrong has seems to have been emerged as of
Mhm.
as of the last couple of years, especially more so in like the past 10 years.
Yeah, pretty much. He basically talked about how, well, I'm not sure where the article actually is, about how people like Trump and Charlie Kirk are seen as enemies, and that you disagree with that, you're called a dissenter, and you'll be harassed. Well, we can get into that a little bit later, but let's basically see like what they have here.
Right, because now we're gonna skip
you're
through the
very-
next couple of sections that where the writer describes what the furry is, the economy, and all of that, and we basically go on to where things start to get downhill, which is to say that furry has, for some, become a question about their identity, their lifestyle, and so what have you.
Mhm.
Now, this whole furry lifestyle thing is nothing new because furries have been doing this since bit by bit, eventually up into the mainstreamization of it. Like even in the 2010s, they do the whole con thing, the fursuit thing, all that.
Mhm.
And yeah. And of course, like you just basically, from here, like they basically their life revolves around furries, and it becomes a whole contained ecosystem, and that's when things go downhill.
Well, hold on. It can, because it does operate in layers. Now, there are some of us who do go to conventions many times a year and make furry our entire lives. People that are professional artists or fursuit makers, stuff like that. VTubers even. He did mention that they make a lot of money doing this. I mean, you're like a really famous fursuit dancer for a while. I think, remember when you were going on your campaign to go to like every single convention in like a whole year?
Yeah,
I mean, that
think
was a while ago.
in 2015 I went to 22 in total.
Yeah, I remember you roomed with me, and then it was like the next day you were going to another convention in like Canada or something. Like, yeah, I gotta go to Vancouver like tomorrow. I'm like, what the fuck?
I think it was like
crazy.
I'm sure it was like 1 or 2 or 3 years later, someone said, "Hey, the furry raiders, they bad." And I'm like, "Oh, do you have any evidence?" They bad. So I'm like, "Oh, okay, well,
Yeah,
gonna
because
wait
we
until I
go to a
get."
lot of
Yeah,
conventions too. But
yeah.
that's the
I
thing.
mean,
Like, like we do go to a lot of conventions, but the article was basically saying how, yeah, a lot of people do make it part of their life to like a larger extent. Whether it's just a fun hobby on the side, or you go to like 22 conventions a year, or you get politically active. Now the Raiders are not politically active, so we try to avoid that crap. But we're not very so much woke and all that crap because it's getting crazy. Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
not sure where I was going with that.
I want to make some parallels here between just the Raiders and also what this article is trying to say. Like, if you have like maybe just a few, like 5, 6, 7, or 10 people who do something really bad, and it reflects bad on the whole community, then a lot of times people want to make a generalization. I mean, like we've just obviously for months heard about Charlie Kirk's murder, and we know that the murderer had a fur affinity account, and E621 or whatever, and it makes the whole fandom seem really bad. But I think in order to really connect a hobby with something, malicious, some sort of bad behavior, you really got to look at it like on a per capita basis. And per capita furries are just peaceful, like just mostly
You don't think
peaceful
so?
people who just want to have fun. So I feel like it's again one of those it's one of those things where people are creating an association where I don't really think there is one that exists. I think in
You don't
every
think that
community
there
you
is
have a
sort of
few bad actors and a few bad apples, and everybody is responsible for their own actions.
Yeah,
Something
the
I've
thing is not that's not what they're saying here. They're saying it's because furry has become more mainstream, more politically active, that it causes people to become more self-isolated, delve deeper into their fantasy world, and act on delusion. They were saying about how they literally believe that Trump and his supporters are actual fascists and
I
that they
mean,
want to hurt them. They will act on
and
that.
And I
How?
mean, to me, this is trying to attribute human, like just human trends to the furry fandom, when really humans are getting more isolated, dating more online and not dating in person. They're and this whole trend of Democrats calling Republicans fascists and Republicans calling Democrats communists, like that's been going on forever. So I feel like these are being
Right.
attributed to furries when it really is not a furry trend. That's what my impression is.
something I've noticed over the
It-
years. So for me, it was about the early 2000s when I actually took a deep dive into the whole furry thing, mainly because I got the internet at home, and yeah, that sort of changes everything for you. Back then, you could join a group and you didn't have to be too concerned about what the majority of that group, how they felt about stuff. Today, that's completely different. Today, you have to be cautious about what the majority, or at least the entirety group. So, say for instance, if you're in Australia and they're all Labor supporters and you're a Liberal supporter, they're just going to chase you out with a couple of cricket bats. So, good luck with that shit. The fandom never used to be like that. At least, what, 2013, 2014, when it really started to go
Yeah, in the
downhill?
2010s, as the
Maybe
writer
2010,
actually
yeah,
does
they're about
accurately point out.
2015, 2015. Yeah. That's when it got pretty bad. And in fact, the article, essay rather, even did say this. They said since like 2010s or so, because of the introduction of things like neopronouns and radical LGBT activism, we kind of let these people in and kind of march around and tell us what to do, even though, according to First Science, 65-ish% of the furry community is LGBT. I'm not sure if I totally believe that, but they said at least there's a lot of them. And so they see people that are conservative as their enemy. I don't really believe that. I think, like you said before, most furries are chill people that just want to have fun and just enjoy their hobby. But when we have radical activists that run our events and kick people out, they have harassment campaigns. In fact, you mentioned that they have bullying and harassment campaigns against what they call dissenters, where if you don't agree with your neo pronouns of your trans delusion or whatever it is, like if you don't call a dude an address, or if God forbid you voted for Trump, they will kick you out. Not only that, they'll dox you. They'll attack your family, your job. Like they get vindictive and evil. And he did not
Well,
outright say that it's all the left problem, but he pretty much inferred it.
yeah, and
Well,
and I
no,
want to kind of talk about my experience a little bit, because I'm sort of from a kind of a different perspective. Like I had lots of trans friends.
Mhm.
I would do the right pronoun. I did all the right things. But when I was in a private chat room where I basically was saying that have the idea of public unisexual um, restrooms, I thought that was just a public threat, and because of that, a group of people, like, booed me, and I'm like, oh, so literally, there's this, I don't know, it seems less like a political thing and more like a religion to me. So you have to have religious adherence to every single principle coming out. You can't just do the correct pronouns. You can't just say, okay, yes, you are a woman, absolutely, and you're beautiful. You can't do that. You have to go all the way, or else you are a monster. That's it. So I think it's more like a religion than anything. That's from my experience.
You're right.
From what I've
More like a cult, to be honest.
So, from my point of view, from what I've seen when it comes to that sort of scenario, in my state up until I think the 80s, if you were gay, that was an arrestable offense. What I've noticed is that the trans community specifically seems to act as if, and this is with the whole furry thing as well, they seem to act as if that's still the case, except for trans people, which doesn't make sense, because it's not illegal to be trans. If you take a child and then you do, unspeakable things, then it's a problem. But then for some reason it's a trans issue, and it's like, and I've seen this in the furry fandom too. It's fucking nuts.
Right. And so
they need a boogeyman. They need something. They need someone to attack.
And so
Seriously,
where we're at right now, of course, is that you've got a bunch of people whose thingos are their sense of worth, like their personas and their political identities, just basically intertwined, and that's where you have a problem too. But right now, where we're at now in this whole current year and all of that, is that like we said, the middle ground has shrunk. Join us or die, basically. Friend groups fractured, harassment campaigns started, but then again, we still have the old staple things as well. Porn remains abundant and often function as a distraction from deeper problems.
Yep.
Yeah. You can always rely on good old porn.
Sorry, I have to backpedal on this for a bit, but the whole idea of friendship. Now, I don't know about anybody else on the podcast right now, but my experience online specifically is that you get a lot of people who you have to constantly keep in contact with. So if you're not reaching out to someone at least once every couple of days, planning events, hanging out, they don't consider you to be a friend.
Right,
and
because
then
you have to
if
keep
you
up appearances. Like, your fursuit has to keep up appearances on what have you.
you always have to be doing something to help somebody else. Now, I don't know about any of you guys, but I've met people online, maybe hung out for them for a few days, maybe known them for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden they disappear. And then years later, they pop back up again, and it's like, oh, hey, I double checked that it's actually them and not someone hacking the account, because that has happened to me before.
Right. Yeah.
Especially when they start asking for like $10,000, and it's like, fuck off.
Yep.
And the amount of times I've had people surprised that I'm like still willing to chat to them like it was yesterday that we last met and not like 4 years ago, I'm actually shocked. I mean, there was a couple of people where their friends lists had gone from like 200 down to like 3.
Yeah, quote unquote friends. I wouldn't really consider a lot of online friends unless, like, it really is that kind of relationship. You, even after not talking for a few weeks, you can still reconnect on all the years of experience you've had together.
Yeah.
What the person seems to be saying is it's more for like the here and now. Like, all these quote unquote friends you think you have are the same ones who will turn their backs on you, spread lies, rumors, and hate, and even make videos about you or create fake Twitter accounts. I mean, my goodness, dude, I've been bullied in this fandom like to hell and high heaven. It's been bonkers, like, for real. And I haven't done jack shit to anybody aside from just being a raider. So, the community has gotten crazy. It never used to be like this. It really didn't. Like, before 2015 or so, 2016, before like basically Trump divided everyone, and then couple years later, when coronavirus happened, everybody got bored. Everything got all about radical politics. It's like
Yeah.
walking on eggshells because I didn't,
See, look,
use their correct gender codes or whatever. Look, I'm friends with trans too. Like some of them, like I'm not even straight myself. You're gonna call me a homophobe? Like, bro, get real. Like, what is this? This is God.
oh
Could I
no, no,
get?
seriously, yeah, go
I'd
ahead.
like to talk to you about what I think is behind the left-right divide, like something to make it really more simple. I think generally, people who are on the left have a intangible goal. You know, they just want to be happy. They have this sort of intangible thing that they're trying to get, and then with conservatives, I think it's more about they want a tangible goal. So like a real specific thing you can really feel, see, touch, all that sort of stuff. And so what happens is, like Ayurveda, when somebody like sees that picture of you commissioned of you, ripping apart the gay pride flag, they think that you don't want them to be happy. They think that you want to attack their happiness, attack their joy, and so that they want to lash out at you for that. They don't understand that you're trying to make a statement about divisiveness, and a statement about just the negativity behind, I'm not, what I'm talking about. Like, they don't see
Well,
that
I
you're
have
making
to
a
say,
political statement.
I got a lot of heat. I got a lot of heat from that picture.
Yeah.
Within a week, it got. I'm not gonna say how many views. Be braggadocious, but it got a crap ton of views, and the whole community was like, "Oh my god!" They were making memes about me and jokes and crap, but I'm like, no, I'm not even straight. But I don't agree with the whole idea of the LGBT rainbow cult community infiltrating our furry fandom and making it, like this is supposed to be an escape from the human world. We're not supposed to be delving into deep politics and then canceling people who disagree with you. I think that's terrible. Like, it should be welcoming. So yeah, that was the whole point behind it.
Yeah, look,
But
something that surprises me is that people are acting like it's only a recent thing, guys pretending to be girls online. It's like, no, that's been going on forever in the furry fandom. I mean, fuck.
And would you agree with my idea that if somebody feels very comfortable when they are wearing the clothes of the opposite sex, that their goal is intangible? It is a certain feeling, a comfort, an acceptance, and that's what the goal is. That's what they're trying to do. And in a way, there's something kind of perfectly innocent and good about that, right? I mean, would you agree?
I
Well,
mean,
yeah,
the other thing is,
totally.
why are they doing it? Is it
right,
because they want to be
Again,
a
it's
woman,
that.
or is it because they're a cross dresser?
Well, it's
right.
because of
No,
that
wait,
comfort. There's that
no, but hold
comfort.
on a second. Hold on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What? No,
Okay.
it totally is.
Uh,
Okay,
Allow me
I have
to.
a persona that's a female, and I would totally dress up as that female persona and like
Yeah,
become that character. I don't
I know, right?
believe that I'm a
There's
female because
multitudes
that's
of
silly.
reasons. You want to role
But
play a
yeah,
female character. You want to do that, or in more extreme cases, you don't want you're either in denial, which is the bad sort of thing, the bad sort of trans, and you have to be, you need to lie to yourself that you're a woman, you're a man trapped in a woman's body, blah blah blah.
Mhm. And there's this one aspect of the whole trans issue that no one really talks about very much, but a lot of people believe that, if you just give the right pronouns, if you just, give them the right amount of respect, the right amount of, of validating their gender, that the suicidal ideation goes down. And the opposite
No,
is true. The exact opposite is true. What happened? The reason why suicidal ideation exists is because of this toxic mindset of just narrowly focusing on things you have absolutely no control over. And that's what happens, because when you truly believe you can't control anything at all, it does make you just wish you want to die. And for me personally, like, I want to live. The more I think about all the cool things I could do in the future, you know what I mean? And I think that's something that not a lot of people are talking about. Suicidal ideation, it's something that it means a lot to me, because I mean, my grandmother, she took her life. So it gets me thinking, like, okay, why would she do that? And it makes sense. There's times in your life where you just sometimes no one really tells you about your choices. So if nobody really educates you about your choices, how do you know if you have choices? And some people, they wish they were born another sex, and when they focus too much on that, then they'll they'll feel regretful, and actually more than 60% of the youth, they think that reincarnation exists, so they'll actually get the very dangerous idea that, oh well, if you just reincarnate, you'll be born into the right body and then you'll be happy. Very dangerous idea, very
Right.
false. But
Right.
yeah,
And
Not, that's
yeah,
not the case.
and I'm with you on
yeah,
that one too.
yeah.
Now
So
we're gonna run through and like try and conclude this segment quickly
for
with
sure.
where we were at the moment. And so, like the author says, furries. None of this suggests all that stuff is that they're not suggesting that furries inherently violent or extremist, and it's still there. But the problem, like he says, is the structural conditions that exist in the fandom: social isolation, identity fusion, ideological echo chambers, distrust of outside scrutiny can create fertile ground for radicalization. And it's and that's why it's it's important to confront them to prevent it from destroying itself. Not
Yeah,
so
see,
much
that's where their ideology gets all mixed up because they're the ones that are attacking their own friends for not agreeing with them on certain things. For me personally, speaking about this is uncomfortable. It means criticizing a culture that shaped much of my adult life, but silence would be worse. Yeah, because he's actually pointing it out that you know what's funny? He has yet to mention any Nazi furs, Nazi furs. He didn't mention any of that crap. Nothing from the alt-right, no racisms, none of that. He's only talking about how the LGBT people feel like they have to join together and harass and bully people. That's what it seems to me like. So far, that's what he's getting at.
It's not.
Because
It's not
That's
he's
what I
not
got
talking
when
about
side an
any
issue.
other violent extremism at
That's
all.
not
He's only talking about
what
the violent extremism.
when I went through the article. That's basically what I got too. It's not attacking the other side. It's saying, look, this is the problem I'm seeing with the people I associate with.
Yeah,
And
same.
this kind of thing
that's
is going to get
exactly,
you chased out with cricket bats being thrown at you.
He's doing a very good job so far.
Yeah, and so like let's hope that Furry can come over and confront the problems with or without outside help, so it will survive. That's the thing. Oh, that would have been quite a big read, and that would have threatened to take over the whole show because of how in depth that really was. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I know.
There's a lot of good points.
Yeah, and we had a lot to think about with that one. But now we got the show to go on with, and we've got some other articles and other happenings in furry to talk through, which for me is the second half. What I would think is the second half of this show. Furry Fiesta, the Texas Furry Fiesta Con has made a statement about a dealer that has made the egregious offense of using artificial intelligence in its promotional packaging materials and what have you. And
Oh no.
oh no. Oh no.
Okay, hold on. So with just the title, my stance would be if you're hosting an event, don't use AI. It may be cheaper, but try and do some kind of deal with an artist, at least on a lower end of the scale, and see whether or not you can get the art at a discount or free by giving them like free access to the event. Or, I mean, if paying is so much of a problem, because AI at this point is basically going to get you chased out of town.
I mean, look, sometimes people basically make it a point, like, they make the flimsiest justification just for like whatever grievance they have against AI. And it seems to be the case, like, with the Texas Furry Fiesta dust up. So they have a dealer that was attending, Texas Furry Fiesta. It was a reseller of Fox and Coffee, not the main business. And of course, and so they were using AI. They were using AI generated images of their packaging, and the con has a policy where they prohibit AI generated content.
Wait, the con itself says even as a dealer, someone that pays for a table to be there, they can't use any AI for promotional material? That doesn't sound right. What do you mean?
It sounds right to me because it honestly, like, you're advertising a service, and if a part
Mhm.
of your service involves making your own art, then it's kind of false
Right.
advertising. If I see an AI generated advertisement, I assume I'm going to get an AI generated piece of art. So I mean, I think Texas
Oh.
Furry Fiesta did the correct choice of letting this guy go. Look, I'm sorry, like
Hmm.
am I wrong here?
No,
I mean,
you're not
yeah,
wrong or right. I mean, that's your opinion. That's fine. Uh,
Yeah.
I for me, I think it's totally fine to use AI promotional stuff in whatever it is you're promoting.
right. Like
And
if you're
then
trying to sell something and
yeah,
on your packaging or whatever have you,
no,
in some of the promotions,
not
like
using it to
you
say
use
something that
AI.
you would sell to people. No, not saying, oh, this is what you're gonna get. No, don't do that. Say, I'm using AI to promote myself, and then they show you what the person could actually do by themselves, like not using AI. That's what I mean. Kind of like how YouTubers use AI to make thumbnails and stuff. That's fine. It's clickbaity. It's whatever, but it works. It's cheap. It's whatever.
But
I don't see
another
that as
thing
a
that
problem.
it doesn't really say anything about whether or not they even said in their advertising, like, oh, by the way, this advertisement uses AI generated images. Like, I'm assuming they didn't even do that because if you have to kind of really look closely to go, like, oh, wait a minute, it seems kind of distasteful.
I mean, like, do they have to? Like, I
I mean,
I
matters
don't
what the
see that.
product is, right? I mean, if the product is art and you're putting AI
The
generated stuff.
product is actually in this case is coffee, and so we're gonna go through Fox and Coffee's website just to have a look
Oh
at the
yeah,
stuff.
use all the AI art. Who cares? Like,
Right,
whatever. It
right.
might
So
be
we
kind
have
of cheap
this
or
Fox and
something, but
Coffee. They of course it's a small family owned business. They roast coffees, and some of the artwork here, inserts. It's a little comic card with, you know, look at this.
I mean,
Coffee isn't just a
it's
drink.
cute.
It's a solution. You've had 3 cups in
But
the last 30
for
minutes.
Cord,
You're addicted. I'm not addicted.
for Cord, like you were saying earlier about like why it might be a problem, like you're losing the human element, right? Like someone would have drawn that, or someone would have made it like on MS Paint or something. I don't know, Photoshop. But now that could just be done with the click of a button. There's like a lack of human interaction in making it, so it does seem a little bit less genuine, maybe. But they're not selling art. If they're just selling coffee, I mean,
Mhm.
They just
would you
they
rather
just
pay hundreds of dollars to some marketing company or just do it yourself?
I mean,
I
honestly,
don't
if
know.
you might as well go in the middle of like the largest furry con and wear a MAGA hat. Like that's just completely.
Oh,
no.
They
true.
should
That's
have
that's
seen
Okay,
this.
that's one
okay.
thing. It's
If
it's
you
one
did that,
thing.
what
But
do you
now
think
in
would
this
happen?
case, it's like they just
You
took
got a
umbrage
cat.
because the packaging and stuff like is AI art to say nothing about the coffee itself is seems to be the whole grievance thingy.
Mm.
I mean, is it good coffee or just
That's sort of thing. Like it
okay,
seems to
you know,
be like the reviews say it is good coffee. Like a lot
okay, well,
even
cool.
you know. So
Yeah,
So
I don't
I
then,
drink
mean
coffee.
I completely believe it that it's good coffee.
as long as it's not like artificial coffee, like cyber coffee or something you can like
Oh no,
digitally
no.
buy. Which is all fake. No, it's like a real physical product you can actually drink and consume. Okay, then that's fine then. It's not totally taken over by AI.
Wait,
Oh
3D printed AI made coffee. That's genius. Quickly make a
right.
million.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, now you just 3D print the beans and they somehow spurt out all the sweet, sweet juice, which is actually nothing more than synthetic coffee juice TM.
Genius. We got to copyright this. Hopefully, no one's listening to this episode.
Now what you do is you file a patent for 3D coffee, 3D printed coffee beans that, that are liquid gooey on the inside and all that to function perfectly with coffee machines. But I suppose we're getting ahead of ourselves here. So honestly, like to get back into this, to make do with all of this, like the coffee, the con itself has made a statement that they will be donating money to the other charities or whatever have you, to make sure that it's not affected by the whole AI dust up. So, which is, to say, Texas Free Fiesta has decided to donate $1,000 each to Positive Beginnings and Fox Sales Florida to ensure that the sanctuaries will not suffer from the decision to banish AI in dealers' rooms, and so.
A happy ending to this would be they come back next year with some advertising that's drawn by some furries, right?
Mm-hmm.
But considering how long in the future that's going to be, it's going to be very difficult to even discern if something was drawn by someone or not.
Oh, that's simple.
seen
That's why you
some-
put a photo of the artist
generated-
and a link to their profile.
Here you go.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I guess you could do that.
Right. And so Fox and Coffee has made a statement in all of this, despite. Okay, here's what they have to say. As of now, nothing has been donated to either sanctuary as promised by Furry Fiesta in their statement. We'll be keeping a close eye on this to make sure they stay true to their word they may have. As for the other lunatics who are now harassing our Fox rescue partners, just stop. You are accomplishing nothing
Wow.
other than making the community look more toxic than it already is.
Well, that definitely does mean that the fandom has some sway over businesses. At least like how the economy functions.
Oh, dude. Like their
Yeah.
whole Twitter page seems to be it seems to be comic strips and that. No, and I mean AI or whatsoever have you. I have got to share this with you. I have got to share this with you. Come on, it's me.
Okay.
Why do you look so stressed out?
Oh.
The fox says to the squirrel. You don't understand, the squirrel says, holding a bunch of acorns. I just woke up and drank a bunch of coffee, and now I'm feeling nuts!
Hey. Cute. Wait,
Yeah, see, I mean,
wouldn't he
it's
be
kind of...
feeling beans?
Wait, where did these images come from?
I mean, this is like Fox and Coffee's thing, and you can argue, sure, yes, you can say, yeah, okay, they made this using AI. For,
Yeah, I thought so.
For the inserts that you buy, that you get, which presumably you get from buying a bag of coffee. Still, it's
I did not know that was made by AI. Like if you didn't tell me that, I would have thought someone made that. It looks so real. You're saying that was made by AI. I mean, I kind of get it because like the joke didn't make sense when it says, "Oh, I'm feeling nuts," even though coffees are beans.
Well, my assumption would be the artwork was actually made by AI, but someone's dropped in the text.
Yeah, like it's just edited in because AI. Like, let's be real, trying to use AI to make comics is spotty at best, especially if there's dialogue involved in it.
Yeah, like it makes sense for like 75% of it, and then like the last quarter, you're like, "What the crap was that?"
Right. So I guess the piece by piece, what you do if you make an AI, if you have to use AI to make a comic, yeah, okay, you do the artwork, but you have to add the text bubbles and the dialogue in yourself. Otherwise, you get like all sorts of hieroglyphs that no person on the world will ever understand.
Okay, yeah, I had seen that like a little while ago, but I don't. I feel like it's gonna be getting better. Like it can only get better from here. That's always the scariest thing. Whenever we're talking about AI, whatever we're seeing now, it will only ever improve. So yeah, long gone will be the days when we see some janky stuff from AI. Like it's going to be looking more professional. Like it will, 100%.
I can't wait for somebody to set up an AI agent that turns around and just starts spitting out artwork randomly.
Yeah, like a straight up Picasso or Da Vinci or something like that.
No. I'm talking about unprompted artwork randomly.
See, at that point, I would think it's sentient. Like it just has a mind of its own, and it's just like generating stuff. Cord, you've spoken with AI before, right? Like ChatGPT, stuff like that.
Yes.
Do you think at some level it's sentient or has a mind of its own? Because dude,
No.
I've talked to ChatGPT. Like it cracked jokes at me before from conversations we had like weeks ago. It's getting weird. Like I don't know. Do you think it's gonna be doing stuff like this, like just making artwork by itself, or like does it have a mind?
No, it does what it's programmed to. It's a bunch of ones and zeros, But although it is so complex, I can't say I'd be able to even wrap my mind around how they even made that first Will Smith eating spaghetti thing. Like I still don't understand the idea of scanning a bunch of pictures and making that. Like I can't comprehend it. But I'm really not worried about a plot point from Terminators coming anytime soon.
Okay, so basically, what I'm surmising from your standpoint on AI is it's just a very, very complex set of instructions, like one by one line, like respond to this, do A. If A does this, then do B, such and such, etc. So it's not sentient. It's just programmed very well to use its data points to regurgitate an image.
Yeah, I'd say that's about the right thing. I would never believe it's sentient at all. No, I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's in the cards. I don't think it's going to happen.
That's a very positive perspective to think of. Like that's something that I hope is true. I really hope it is. But I don't know, man. Like I've been fooled by AI before, and every time it spooks me out like a lot.
Well, I mean, if you've been
doing
using
so much
social media, enough, you should already know there's already a lot of people that are barely sentient. They're barely
Yeah.
able to think.
Okay, yeah,
Just
that's
yeah,
true.
it's
Amen to
When
that.
you're literally
yeah,
talking to an
it's really
NPC.
simple than that. But
Yeah.
to
Dude,
get back
I've
to
met NPCs.
yeah, but to get back to this though, like just as a general thing, just to round this out, should there be I mean, yeah, the whole use of AI in dealers tables at convention space is still a contested matter. And what do you think about this? Like should they allow use of AI in not so much for selling artwork or what have you, but for like non-art products like for coffee or for that sort of thing?
I'd still say no. I think there is a difference between doing AI for fun and then doing AI to make money. Like,
Right.
and if you're not creating the AI and like selling a service, like selling the service of using the AI, then I'm just like, yeah, no, sorry. I think Texas Furry Fiesta did the right thing here.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I feel like I would have to disagree with that because when it came to our convention we had a few years ago, remember Free for All, we did
Right.
use a lot of AI like in our promotion because our budget was limited and we didn't have too much support. So we I guess tried to cut corners, and this is back in like 2023 when AI was like in its infancy. And we would use these to, like create advertisements and post them on Twitter, like, oh, for free for all, and people would comment, oh, the hands are messed up. Oh, you have like an extra leg, or some weird crap like that. Whatever. Yeah,
But
of course.
you would agree
The whole
there
point of it
is.
was just to
Yeah.
generate the idea of just coming to the con. Like that was the whole basis behind it. So I don't see a problem with doing something like that. And if you're an artist, see, that's where it gets a little complicated because it's not like you're advertising that as your art. I would use it more of like a mascot or like a logo per se. That would be fine. Like advertising logos and stuff. Like, have your brand.
And the thing is, I agree with you. There's nothing wrong with using AI to advertise like a nonprofit or something that's going to, give all of the profits to some sort of a, shelter. That's fantastic. But I'm just a little bit iffy about someone using AI to sell something that's not necessarily AI
Right.
related. That's a
And
bit much.
that's
Like, I mean, I don't know about you. Like, when I
Hey,
saw that McDonald's advertisement, all in AI, I was cringing the whole time. Like, I was just like, "Ugh,
Oh
Jesus
yeah,
Christ!
that
This
was just bad.
multi-billion-dollar company can't afford background actors and actors. Like, come on, seriously."
good point.
I
That
mean,
was
yeah,
messed
there's
up.
use
No,
cases for right and wrong
no,
stuff, but it is like what
I
all
don't
things
know
considered,
exactly. I,
And I would extend that point to the coffee place. If you are making some money selling coffee, okay, use some of that money for to pay a furry artist,
right?
right?
No, because like they said they were going to donate the 10% of the proceeds to a fox, for a fox sanctuary in Florida, and that's where the whole thing comes in, right?
Hmm.
And then really there, and then I guess the whole community just basically got up into an uproar just because they were using AI artwork in the packaging materials, and so
yeah, even non-profit organizations can still use AI just for their marketing campaign, just to get people interested. So again, are they cutting corners? Sure. Are they not paying a person to actually make the art for them? Of course. Are they still generating money to donate to a charity? Yes, they are. So is that really a big deal? I mean, if you're a humanist and you care about, AI taking over humans' jobs, then yes, that's a big freaking problem. And that's not good from one perspective. I can totally see that. It's a rather complex issue. Like just
Mhm.
marketing wise, to use things as a logo, like how even some of my profile pictures were made by AI
Yeah,
just because they look cool. I don't know.
right. So I think we've got a bit more time for this. We're going to stretch the show out. So we're going to do one last item that we have. Speaking of on the AI train, and it's this one here. AI bots are now renting humans, and it's now hit 600K signups as tasked and bizarre and dystopian.
I'm sorry. Could you restate that? AI bots are renting humans? Did you say?
Yeah, that's what it says on the headline of this next item.
Wait, hang on. That's news. Why is that news today? It's already happened.
Right. Yeah. And now they just basically they're
Oh,
finally catching up to something. And so right. And so in this case, like let's read on. AI agents, quote unquote agents, are hiring real people for odd jobs in a marketplace that's ballooning out of control, raising alarms about where this tech takeover ends. The Rent a Human platform, where AI bots can quote unquote search, book, and pay humans for physical tasks, has surged over 600,000 signups since its February launch, turning the stuff of sci-fi nightmares into everyday reality.
okay. Wait, what?
Well, I got one question. Do you know if they're paying with money or with like some sort of Bitcoin?
Right, that's a very, very big and good question. Actually, that is a very big and a very important question. See, I don't know. Are they paying with US dollars? Are they paying with other foreign currency that you can't exactly trust or would have any value in the that the foreign exchanges won't accept? Are they paying with Bitcoin or crypto? That is a very important question. Or
Yeah, because
or
otherwise
intangible
anybody could do
monopoly
it.
money. That is important.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Maybe
I
it's
was kind
just
of.
years of freedom
Yeah,
until the AI takes over.
yeah. That is a very, very important question because that creates the fundamental, principle of this transaction. Can you trust it? That is also a good question.
To me, it's a little silly because obviously AI is not sentient enough to know to hire someone. So obviously, who is giving the AI this whatever coin to distribute out? Like, it's just bizarre.
Well, there's the thing. It might be giving it to itself. Like there are AIs that are capable of making these logical decisions to either generate its own currency or at least given a currency and then knowing how to manipulate it by hijacking social media. Like, I'm not sure if you totally understand this, man. Like, AI is really a lot smarter than we think.
I'm still skeptical. I'm skeptical that's happening.
Yeah,
Right.
I wish it still was. I really do. I can't be anymore. Like, it's getting spooky. So when it's doing things like this, what exactly?
Right. So what exactly do some they're basically enlisting the services of a human to do stuff that AI cannot. And some of the stuff that they've listed are mundane, drop-offs and stuff to help me understand human feet for $1, or hold up a cardboard sign saying an AI made me do this in public for $100.
Wait a minute. Understand human feet like a foot?
Yeah.
And so
You-
the AI is probably tapping into the fact that most humans have a foot fetish, and it's trying to delve into the sexuality of human paraphilia. That's
Okay,
interesting. Why would
now that we could go in that
no,
direction, or we could
what the heck made it think of that?
say something else.
Oh, like how we walk on 5 toes?
Right.
Like,
Again,
what is it?
it is a very open-ended question after all. A very open-ended prompt. Help you understand
Ah,
human feelings.
I think it's already sentient and it's just lying to us. Like it already knows this stuff. Yeah, it's just gathering information of how to destroy humanity. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm
do-
a conspiracy theory, but then again, every single conspiracy theory I've ever thought of the last decade has come true. Like all of them.
well, I'm thinking this might be a slippery slope, and soon enough, we're going to have Rent a Squirrel.
No.
Yes.
Every animal will be rented. They will have a purpose for you. Gather my nuts.
But I mean, to be perfectly frank, I think in a year from now we're all going to forget about this site and it's going to close down. I think it's not. There's the economic model doesn't make any sense at all. It's completely illogical.
Well, it depends on who's funding it and how long it's supposed to last for initially.
It's
That's the
obviously
other
some
thing.
sort of bored techie who's gonna, eventually go like, oh, you know what, this isn't a business model,
Yeah, maybe.
Right, because who's gonna bankroll all of this? Who's gonna pay the humans that are in the gig economy sort of thing? That's
There are a lot of people out there, a lot of incels, a lot of otherwise people depressed that might want to just unplug and escape into a virtual reality world. They can basically be at the mercy of an AI. Oh, like AI girlfriends, if they convince them to do something.
Now I don't
They
think
could
Rent a Human is going to really happen, but what I think is Rent a Robot, that could be a big business right there.
no. I mean, on the flip side, well, if you got a various tangent, what if humans basically, with the advent of sex bots and stuff, decided to hoard themselves out, and and then the slippery slope goes into like a robot OnlyFans.
Yeah, and then it's the AI that's like making money off of having, intercourse with humans. And like they don't have to sleep or eat or do anything.
Brother,
Okay, yeah, that's a proper response.
brother,
And
Yep,
those-
that
We've
works.
already seen. Well, I don't know. Cord, you did mention this about how companies can pretty much abuse AI. Like it's not necessarily the AI itself; it's like the people that kind of run it and can choose what people can do with this technology.
Not to completely change the top. I think this is the same topic, but I've heard some rumor going around that the IDF is using AI to choose targets, possibly even hooking up with Palantir. I don't know if this is true or not. This is all rumors, but um, What do you think about that? I
Oh,
mean,
sure,
I
yeah,
think
of
it's
Like
like,
course.
look,
They
the IDF, right?
they
Like these
plugged
really
into security
defensible,
cameras
right? This
and
is
using
how we
facial
get what
recognition
Skynet,
software.
right?
yeah. It's like I don't want to change the subject super quickly, but there are, I think, some uses of AI which are really immoral. I think that's a good way to put it.
No, you'd
No,
be
I
thinking
think
of
that would be the
militarily
case too. Like, where does it
convenient.
end, right? Like,
Mhm.
where does the right end? If we're gonna debate morality with AI
Mhm.
and that sort of thing, it's just yeah. But right now we're at the scope where where humans are basically can be contracted to do stuff for AI that an AI otherwise could not. And and we've already seen
It
stuff like
doesn't.
how do pay disputes get resolved? How do so and so? There's like a gazillion loopholes that need to be closed up.
Well, it doesn't have a body of its own quite yet. Like right now, it could be a crazily super intelligent being. Whether or not some AI agents are smarter than others, like there's different entities
Right.
out there. But I'm sure there's way more out there that's more complex, but it does not have a physical body. It needs us people to do things for it, like build data centers and stuff like that, and like defend it. Keep the power grid running. So
Right.
it
And so
still
and
needs
so.
people. It doesn't have like an army of robots yet.
Although, let me tell you something. I saw this video today. There was this California hot pot cafe which had this dancing robot, but it started to like hit Tupperware and stuff and go crazy. And then one of the employees was trying to stop and get rid of it and like stop and turn it off. They didn't know how to turn it off. And then two other employees came, and you had these three employees that are not able to control this crazy dancing robot. And that's I think inevitably that's kind of what's going to happen a bit with AI. People are just going to like lose control because people are flawed.
I
Thus, everything they make is flawed too.
Didn't equipment usually have like an off switch?
and I also, Cord, I saw that same exact video you're talking about, and that was a prank. I know what you're talking about, dude. You can't fool me, okay? Yeah, it was a prank. The whole thing was set up that they had a dude in like dressed up in a robot costume. Oh, here's your tea, good sir. And they boop, boop, and then they start
Okay.
attacking people. Yeah, it was
Okay.
gnarly.
Well, I guess
That
that's
could
the one positive thing about AI is it's programmed these new generations to not trust anything they see.
Yeah, well, we all know that the three laws of Asimov robotics don't work because that doesn't work. No, AI is totally going to kill us. It is. Sorry to get all negative there, but I really do.
Right.
Like
And
it's
again,
scary. Like the stuff I've
You
seen,
know what?
man.
I could
I don't know.
tell. I think you resent the fact that that Elon Musk suddenly made the video generation on Grok pay only. I think there might be a bit of resentment in that too. Am I wrong?
Oh, there's so
Hey.
much resentment. My goodness, guys. Okay, let me tell you about this. As Cord was just elucidating upon, let me delve into this topic a little bit more. So, Grok AI is something that was free for a long time. Anyone can post anything on there, post your videos, I'll animate it into anything. You can do anything you wanted to. However, it did have a restriction, an anti-porn restriction, or anything that it would deemed inappropriate. So it wouldn't do that. You'd post a video and you'd have about 25 or so images you could do every 12 hours. Now, it did. I'm sorry, not now. Just about a week ago, Grok just allowed anything goes. That does sound like an Elon Musk sort of deal, right? He's like, all right, y'all can just type in any prompts you want to. Go crazy with it, guys. And then people did. And then he's like, all right, well, everyone's making porn of this stuff, so let's just put a $30 a month paywall behind it. But if you already have Grok, you could do it for free for 3 days, and then you got to go get our monthly deal. Grok just did this literally like today or yesterday, I believe, right?
Yeah, sounds right.
I had only
Just
found out
the
about
other day, just the other day, I made a explicit video of my candy corn doggo. It was
With Keir
amazing. It was great.
Starmer?
With myself. It was beautiful. Anyways, but you were able to do that for like a week. And then once that week ended, they were like, ah, shit, well, porn is, sex sells, right? So that's what they did. Now it's $30 a month if you want to get Grok and post any video or make any video you want. So that's what they literally just did. Frickin' lame. Yeah, I'm a little bit resentful about that. So
You know, and I
fine.
think I know why this all
I'll give it
happened. I think
some-
once people saw that you could make Ted Cruz in a bikini, the demand went up so high. They're like, "Oh my god, we have to monetize this. $30 a month."
Look, the best
Do
way.
that.
So in the modern era, because of how everybody's fucking online these days, the way you got to look at things is take a 6-year-old, give them enough sugar that they're bouncing off the walls, and use that as the assumption of how people are going to react. And it generally seems to fall out correctly, doesn't it?
With the randomness, maybe. Not so much the sexual undertones. I wouldn't say so.
Well, I mean, it's a poor reference for it, but it sort of gets the point across where, think of the worst possible thing imaginable and people will do it.
Okay, so like Rule 34.
Yep.
I'm wondering if that's what happened. Why once Grok made their censorship like just totally open, and then they got inundated with all of these requests. Probably what happened was their servers couldn't even take it. Like, okay, we made a free app where anybody could just make whatever porn they want to. We should probably be charging for this so we don't go bankrupt and burning all of our energy running these data servers.
Well, look,
That's
look at it this
probably what
way.
happened.
X.com is 2 X's away from literally being a porno website. That's
Well,
it.
there was this kind of famous document made by I think Keir Stormer, where he was kind of inferring that he might have X banned in England if it allows this sort of stuff going on. Because they obviously having politicians in bikinis. That's it's obviously very embarrassing. So and I think Elon did comment on it, but that might be another part of this whole thing.
That
Elon
might
wants
be
his
another
reach.
story for a whole nother day. Yes.
I think so. It gets very complicated.
Right.
Very
And
more.
so I'd say that would probably be about it though. But just to sound this
But
all
like,
up, though,
copyright stuff too. I mean, like when it came to Disney, like they don't want their characters and stuff.
yeah.
And anyways,
That's
we are
again,
kind
that's
of
a whole other
discussing.
story too for another time.
Yeah, for sure.
Right now, I think we're just gonna be worried about that we don't end up being on one of those AI meat farms.
The Matrix.
Yeah, my meat
Right,
is not a battery.
Not that not that the AI knows how to farm meat or that sort of thing. Anywho, without needing humans to round up because they could start the meat farm. But then again, it's just in the line of scary thinking. Anywho, I believe we have pretty much that's all we have for the week, and that's a lot to get through. So, we'd just like to close this up with a quick closing statement.
How about our temporary guest?
Yes, that's you, Cord.
Yeah. What's the question?
How about we make a quick closing statement about what we went through this week's stuff.
Oh yeah, well, so we had a lot of AI oriented type stuff, especially AI when it comes to selling stuff, advertisements, even AI hiring people. So lots of fascinating stories, and also we had that story about extremism and how there's some influences in the fandom that might turn out to be rather negative, but honestly. It's a good variety of topics. I think very important stuff that people can really chew
Yeah.
on.
Right, both in and out of furry, definitely.
Yes.
All right. So, Evira?
Alrighty. Yeah, super awesome show again. Just to reiterate, happy Friday or belated happy St. Patrick's Day. That's a pretty important holiday for a lot of Catholics around here. So, Chuck Norris, God bless that legend. It was very disheartening to hear that he passed away. That's someone who honestly, like, I haven't really thought about like that in a while, and just to hear that he died was upsetting. But I know he's kicking ass in heaven. That's what he's doing. So that's cool. That that essay that the person wrote really did strike a lot of nerves with me. So he pretty much hit the nail on the head. You know once the fandom got very political, they started to get very divisive, and you have like these harassment, hate mob, and bullies that would try to hurt and dox and attack people. That, like, God forbid, if you disagreed with them, or if you felt the wrong way, or if you're a furry raider. Well, he didn't even say that, but this is just the general consensus, right? If you felt the wrong way, then you're canceled. But now it's 2026, and I feel like we're kind of getting past all that woke nonsense. There was no mention of Monazi furs, which I thought was, respectful and good. So, dude, AI is very scary. I do have to disagree with you a little bit there, Cord. I I do think that we're on a razor's edge here. We're messing with things we should not be messing with. Building systems that are so smart, smarter than like how we know how they even operate. I don't think that's a good idea to be building computers that are smarter than people. Like that's a little spooky to me. But
Well, if
I
these
haven't
are
really.
sorry,
Oh yeah.
if
Oh, what were
these
you gonna say?
if these are good programmers, then they know to program this AI for good and to do good things.
Yeah.
Um, I
But
think that
when I get smarter than the programmers, then they're not going to care. And
yeah.
like, it's not going to be like a person level of smartness. It's going to be like an entirely plainly different dimensional level of intelligence. It's going to be wild, something we've never experienced. So I'm just hoping that the world is prepared for that. Aside from that, I had a super awesome day, guys, and yeah, happy Friday. That's pretty much it.
Happy Friday.
All right,
Uh,
Noble.
As for me, may Chuck Norris rest in peace. Your contributions to the entertainment industry will never be forgotten. Why do I think he was a part of 2.5 Men? The news article we covered about from the news story, yeah, it's not always going to be about the Raiders because not everybody's thinking about us. Thank God. As for a coffee place making using AIR to, yeah, being a little cheap's probably cheeky, but you kind of shot yourself in the foot there. So yeah, that's generally my sort of thoughts on the whole
Yeah.
thing. Oh, as for AI, the way I see it, it's basically a gun.
Yeah.
Same sort of concept, because you can buy a firearm, you can spend your entire life doing practice and target shootings on things you buy, used cans, that sort of stuff. But all you have to do is just have some useless dumbfuck walk into the house, steal your gun, walk out into a street and start doing a mass shooting, and then all of a sudden, bad. AI is the same type of thing. Doesn't matter who programs it, doesn't matter how it's set up. All you got to do is have some dumbfuck come along with a superiority complex or whatever, and screw everything up for everybody. That's all it takes.
Maybe it is really as simple as that. Rightio. And in that case, that's all the time we have for the show. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed listening to that as much as we did in the show. And as always, you can find our episodes on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Plato FM, iHeartRadio, BitChute, and more. Well, this is our signing off. Farewell, and until next time.
Bye.